So, Cammy, I understand your imbecile sister will be coming to the next family reunion. If I recall correctly, both of you are high school dropouts. This will be an excellent opportunity to see just how horrendously stupid your family is. I never quite understood why my son decided to marry you. But perhaps after he sees the two of you dunces in the same place, he'll come to his senses.
Good evening, Miranda. To answer your question, yes, my sister is planning on attending. And yes, we did both drop out of high school. However, my sister is a good person. I don't think she'll cause any problems for you.
You don't have to tell me that you don't think, Cammy. I'm already aware of that. Sometimes I almost feel bad for the two of you. It must have been difficult growing up in a family that hardly even had 2 pennies to rub together. Even being a big of a failure as you are, I'll bet both you and your sister make more money than your parents did combined. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm not the least bit interested in hearing your sob stories about your impoverished childhood. So, if you must talk, I'd appreciate it if you could at least say something that more educated people than yourselves would find interesting.
Well, we didn't really struggle all that much. I don't have any sob stories to tell in the first place.
You don't need to lie to me, Cammy. Rather, I should say that there's no point. I already know exactly what you are.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, though, what is wrong with that sister of yours? You've been married for months now, and yet she hasn't come by to introduce herself? Really, that's exceptionally rude of her. In any case, we'll finally get the chance to meet her soon. Now, my husband may tease her a bit for various reasons, including the obvious one that she's an imbecile. However, I want you to keep in mind that anything he says to you is your fault. Don't shoot the messenger, as they say. You can't complain when he points out simple truths about you.
Right. Well, my sister is out of the country pretty often on business. I haven't even seen her in several months, which is something that I believe I've explained to you before. So I don't know why you think it's rude for her to not have met you yet when she's been literally physically incapable of meeting you up until now.
I told you, Cammy, your uneducated lies won't work on me. If your sister hasn't come to meet you since your wedding, it's most likely because she doesn't think your wedding is important enough. Either that, or the two of you have always hated each other and she never intended on seeing you in the first place. Bitter sibling rivalries are common in lower-class families. In any case, rude is rude. She should have made more of an effort to visit us. Goodness me, it's bad enough she's a high school dropout, but having no manners on top of that? Disgraceful! There are absolutely no redeeming factors to her at all.
It's interesting that you would say that, seeing as you haven't even met her yet.
Knowing you is enough. And you should know that you are a massive black spot on our otherwise noble family. Do not embarrass me when the family comes over. Do you understand me?
Yes, Miranda, I understand.
That was the funniest thing I've seen in ages! The way you screamed when my husband poured that cup of hot tea on your head, it was like something out of an old Saturday morning cartoon. I was right to invite you to come. The court jester is the perfect role for an idiot high school dropout like you.
I still can't believe what just happened. It would be one thing if it were an accident, but that was on purpose. I think he just gave me burns on my scalp and part of my face. It really hurts. I need to go find some ice or something.
I imagine it does hurt when you've been reminded of your place. You were such a rotten little upstart in there, bragging about your sister. So what if she's achieved a mediocre of success as a model? You're both still beneath us and should have maintained a proper attitude. How could you be so delusional about yourselves? Congratulations, you're slightly taller than the average woman. Oh, and I suppose maybe your sister might be considered pretty by some men with lower standards. That doesn't change the fact that the two of you are nothing but a couple of idiots and completely useless to society.
Miranda, you can mock me all you want. I can deal with that. But I will not stand for you insulting my sister.
What's that? Would you like another cup of tea? Apparently the first wasn't enough to make you understand. It's precisely that baseless pride in your sister that made my husband feel the need to teach you a lesson in the first place. No matter what either of you do, you will never be on the same level as my family. Once you made the decision to become a dropout, you tactically consented to bearing that title for the rest of your life. Other than you two, every single person in that room graduated from college, and prestigious ones at that. You marrying my son was the worst humiliation I have ever suffered in my life.
I am waiting for the part where you justify doing what you did to me, Miranda.
Shut your mouth. I don't need to justify anything to the likes of you. Now hurry up and get back in here right away. You have work to do. Thanks to you, my husband needs a fresh cup of tea, and he wants it right away. You've got some burns on your face? Oh, you poor thing. Your arms and legs still work. I hope you realize how much your misbehavior has ruined the atmosphere of what was a delightful afternoon. You will come before my husband, get on your knees, and apologize for your behavior this instant.
And if I refuse?
Then you will no longer be welcomed in this family.
I've met some stuck-up, elitist slimeballs in my life, but you bring the term to a whole new level.
What did you just say to me?
That's it. I can't take this anymore. It's time I put an end to this charade and tell you the truth about who I am.
What on earth are you going on about? I already know exactly what you are. A pathetic, miserable, idiotic, useless high school dropout. And for that little outburst, you will apologize to me once you're done apologizing to my husband.
We'll see who's apologizing to who when the day is done.
Cammy, I am so terribly sorry for what I've done. I was incredibly rude to you. Please, dear, can't you find it in your heart to forgive an old woman's foolishness?
I do not need, nor do I want, an apology from you. What you've done to me is not something that you can fix with just an apology. The world isn't that simple of a place. And I'm not that forgiving of a person. So don't bother debasing yourself by groveling at my feet. It's not going to do you any good. I cannot deal with you, your husband, my husband, or anyone in that bile-infested cesspool you call a family any longer. I'm going home now. Oh, and I know how excruciating it is for you to have a filthy little high school dropout like me for a daughter-in-law, so you know what? I think I'll spare you any more grief and divorce your son. I'm so sorry for all the trouble I've caused you, but don't worry, I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
No, Cammy, don't! I take back all the nasty things I've ever said about you.
Is this how stupid all you fancy university graduates are? Because God in heaven, you are dense. You can't just take it back. Did you think life is like a social media post that you could just delete it if it doesn't get the reaction you expected? Well, you're too late. The damage is done. Your husband's assault, and yes, it was an assault, has left me with burns on about a third of my face. I'm on my way to the hospital now so they can examine me. Once they do, I'm going straight to the police and filing a report against you. And right after that, I am going to have a talk with my lawyer about what my next steps are going to be.
What? Police? Lawyer? Come now, Cammy! Don't you think you're blowing this out of proportion? We're family, you know? This was just a minor little family scuffle, that's all. These things happen all the time. We don't need to go getting the police or courts involved.
You might think that way, but unfortunately for you, I am not a pathetic pushover. I will go to the police about what you did to me, and that's final. Oh, and another thing? I am also going to talk to my lawyer about drawing up a set of divorce papers so I can break up with your son as soon as possible. So, within a few weeks, we're not going to be a family anymore.
Wait! Cammy, please. I had no idea that you were a millionaire real estate investor. Not only that, but you own the housing development where this very house is built. I mean, the only thing I ever heard about your work from my son was that you hardly ever work at all. He said you mostly just sit around looking at your laptop all day, so I figured you were unemployed.
Good grief, Miranda, what year is it? I don't need to leave the house to make money. All I need is a laptop and an internet connection, and I'm good to go.
Ah, yes, I suppose you're right. Technology is incredible these days, isn't it? But if you don't mind me asking, how on earth did you learn the investment skills you would need to amass that kind of fortune? I mean, you are a high school dropout after all.
Oh, thank you so much for reminding me. You haven't mentioned that in the last 5 minutes, so I almost forgot about that. Seriously, I've never met anyone with such a bizarre prejudice against high school dropouts as you in my life. Do you think I dropped out because I was too dumb to graduate?
Is there any other reason to drop out from high school?
I'm glad you asked. Yes, I had a very good reason to drop out of high school. It was a complete waste of time. When I turned 16, I had an epiphany. I had spent more than 10 years in the educational system, but I was learning more in my free time looking things up myself than when I was at school. That's when I thought to myself, why am I sitting in this concrete prison for 8 hours a day when I could be learning more by myself? And so I did just that. I dropped out and started just studying whatever I wanted to. My sister did the same thing for a slightly different reason. She wanted to be a model and start her own fashion brand and dropped out a little bit before I did. Do you get it now? We dropped out of our own volition.
So you're not an idiot? You're actually quite intelligent?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, though I'd like to think that just about anyone is capable of doing what I did. Once they free themselves from the constraints of this country's educational system, that's it. I learned more from self-study and real-world experience than I ever would have if I finished my last few years of public education.
When you say it like that, it makes a good deal of sense. But if that's the case, why would you hide all of that from us? You were lying to us about who you really were this whole time. Don't you feel guilty at all about lying to your family?
Please, Miranda, everything I do is calculated, and that includes not letting you know my true identity.
What do you mean?
Ever since I became successful, I could see the people around me changing. It turns out there are actually a lot of people like you who change their tone based on how much money a person has. I started getting complimented more than I ever had before. People who never paid attention to me before suddenly became very interested in what I do and how I do it. That was a wake-up call. If people know that I'm wealthy, then they're not going to show me who they really are when they're around me. So I decided that I would start hiding that fact about myself and then see how people act towards me. Then I can know what kind of person they really are. That is why I never told you about myself. I was still judging whether you were the type of people I could let my guard down around.
I see. But you chose my son as your husband, right? That's wonderful. And my son chose to take you as his wife, too, despite you being a high school dropout. That must mean the two of you are truly in love with each other. I'm so happy for the both of you. You have a long life full of happiness ahead of you.
Yeah, about that. I'm not really one to toot my own horn, but... well, my sister is a world-famous model, right? She's objectively one of the most beautiful and desired women in the world. And, well, I'm her sister. We look quite a bit alike. We're both pretty long-legged and in good shape. And while I can admit Alana has a prettier face than me, we still have our sibling resemblance. Which is all to say that I have never had any trouble finding men who were interested in me, even without them knowing I have money. Your son and I became friendly, and yes, I agreed to marry him. But he was still on probation.
Probation? You mean to tell me you didn't fully trust him even after you got married?
I've been burned in the past by men I thought I could trust. I understand why you wouldn't think very highly of that, but it's basically a survival instinct for me. When we first got married, he was treating me pretty well, and I thought that maybe he was a genuinely nice guy. That didn't last very long, however. I gave him an airtight cover story about a job that allowed me to work from home, but he didn't believe me. He thought all the work-from-home jobs were for intelligent people, which, me being a stupid high school dropout, I couldn't possibly be. So he stopped doing any chores at all and spent all this time going to bars and nightclubs. His words to me were, if you're just going to lay around the house doing nothing all day and contribute absolutely nothing to this family, then I'm going to do whatever the hell I want with my money. To be honest, I've been getting pretty fed up with him lately.
Well, I know that it may not be my place to comment on someone else's relationship, but don't you think there's a possibility that you were both contributing to the difficulties between you?
Sure, that's definitely possible. However, he won't even talk to me about our problems. He says talking about feelings is for girls. How are we supposed to repair our relationship if he won't even talk to me? This marriage is a lost cause, and I am putting an end to it.
You can't just decide that on your own. You're a couple. You need to talk to each other. Something as big as a divorce should be a joint decision, not you simply forcing your will onto him.
Did you not just see me say that he won't talk to me? And besides, his attitude isn't the only reason I'm divorcing him. The way your entire family has treated me is utterly reprehensible, and I won't deal with it any longer. And then the second you learned I'm rich, all of a sudden you start treating me better. What a coincidence, right? You all disgust me. I gave you a chance and you threw it away, so I'm leaving. Now get out of my house.
Your house?
Your son told you he bought that house, didn't he?
Oh no. You mean he didn't actually buy it?
Nope, it was me. He just told you it was him and let you live there without my permission. Now that we're divorced, I have no reason to put up with you anymore, so I want you out.
You can't do this to us. We love this house. It's our home.
It was your home. But as of tomorrow, I'm selling it to the highest bidder, so get your things cleared out by morning. I hope you enjoyed your time living rent-free at my expense, because those days are over. You're going to have to take care of yourselves from now on.
Oh my God, Cammy, what is wrong with those people? Like, for real, what were you thinking marrying that guy? The whole family is the absolute worst.
You can say that again. I'm really sorry about yesterday, Alana. It was the first time you've been back in the country in forever, but it ended up being a total waste of time for you. But on a positive note, it's thanks to you that I now know exactly what sort of people they all are. I made my decision. I'm divorcing him and moving on with my life.
Oh, you're divorcing him? That's a huge relief. If you didn't say that, I was this close to having my security team go down and teach your husband some manners.
I would have paid money to see that happen.
It can still happen if you want, girl. Just say the word.
Nah, that's all right. He's going to get what's coming to him already.
If you say so, but the offer's on the table. By the way, sorry I couldn't go to the hospital with you. I had to go see somebody for work.
That's totally fine. My doctor said my burns shouldn't take too long to heal. He gave me some cream for it and said there shouldn't be any permanent scarring.
That's a relief. How would you get yourself a new man without that gorgeous face of yours? Okay, but for real, can we talk some more about how those people are literally the worst human beings on the planet? My charity just shut down a sweatshop in Asia that was run by nicer people than them. I mean, your father-in-law actually dumped a cup of hot tea on your head just because you're a high school dropout. And then your mother-in-law told you to go make him another cup? They're psychos, just straight up psychos, all of them.
It was great watching all their faces when you told them all about the businesses that you've started over the past few years. You could tell their brains were kicking into overdrive to find a reason to make fun of you in spite of your massive success.
And in the end, all that geezer would come up with was, well, I spent a solid week working on my doctoral thesis.
Right? As if that's even close to as impressive as anything you've accomplished in the last week.
I'm surprised you put up with that for as long as you did, though, Cammy. Didn't it hurt to have them mock you like that?
Honestly, I came close to feeling bad for them. Like in the back of my mind, I was just thinking about how their brains were going to explode once I told them who I really was.
Okay, and one more thing. I was also waiting to see what you were planning to do about your husband before I told you this, but that guy is an absolute scumbag. And I'm not just talking about the way he was laughing right along while your mother-in-law was mocking you. Remember when he showed me where the bathroom was? He tried to hit on me while I was in the bathroom. Like, he was standing outside the door trying to put the moves on me.
No way.
Yes way. I'm really sorry, Cammy. It has to hurt, but I thought you deserved to know the truth.
You know, nothing he does hurts me anymore. Because the truth is, I actually found out recently just what kind of a scumbag he is.
Really? You don't mean?
Yep, it's exactly what you think. At first I thought he was just your average, everyday, run-of-the-mill jerk. But it turns out he's actually a grade A certified sleaze bucket.
Cammy, are you really going to divorce my son? He just came by our new house to tell us about it. I wish you could see how badly he's hurting right now. Listen, I know the two of you have been through some difficulties, but won't you please reconsider what you're doing?
Unsurprisingly, it seems like your son didn't tell you the whole story. He betrayed me, Miranda. He's been cheating on me for just about as long as we've been married, and I have all the evidence I need to prove it. I'm moving forward with divorcing him, and I am going to sue him to recover the money that he spent out of our joint savings account on his mistress.
You're suing him? But you can't honestly think you're innocent in all of this.
Excuse me?
It's clear that my poor son wasn't satisfied with you. If he were, then he wouldn't have had any reason to go after other women. You must not have been trying hard enough to win his favor. Either that or not paying enough attention to his needs as a man. You can't sue him for something that you drove him to.
Wow, that is some super duper intellectual legal analysis by you, Miranda. Unfortunately, it happens to be 100% wrong, however. The law is on my side, and I will sue both him and your husband, and I will win.
What? You're suing my husband too? Wasn't it enough that you filed a police report against him? They're telling him he has to report to the station for questioning now.
I fully intend to take advantage of every remedy afforded to me by the law. You're going down.
Cammy, can't we talk about this?
No. No good will ever come from talking to you crazies. If you have any questions or complaints, feel free to address them to my lawyer. And with that, I bid you adieu.
That's it? You're just going to walk out of our lives like nothing ever happened? How could you be so heartless?
You want to talk about being heartless, Miranda? Heartless is betraying your wife and spending all your time with your mistress. Heartless is a mother justifying her son's wanton infidelity. Me? I'm not heartless. Most people with a functioning moral conscience would look at what you and your son did to me and be furiously apologizing. You, however, are going for a slightly different strategy. The old try and guilt the victim into not getting justice for herself strategy. It's a bold move, but sadly it's not going to pay off for you.
But Cammy, we lost our house because of you. Now you're suing my husband on top of that? I thought that if you would just relent on suing my son, we could rely on him to support us. But he'll never be able to afford to help us out when you're through with him. If anything, we'll be the ones who have to help him out. Someone's got to help him mend the broken heart you left him with.
He's still got his mistress, right? She can pick up the pieces for you. But as of now, I no longer have any reason to care how sad he is. He could have chosen the path of being a decent husband to me, and the payoff to him and you would have been astronomical. But instead, you all chose the path of derision, mockery, betrayal, and violence. And now you're getting the punishment you deserve.
Isn't it punishment enough for us to lose our house? None of us thought this would happen, Cammy. We were totally caught off guard. You don't have to do anything for us ever again, but please don't abandon my son.
You're wasting your time, Miranda. The world isn't as convenient a place as you think it is. All of you have done terrible things to me that you can't take back. Seriously, you opened this conversation by trying to convince me that I was the one at fault for my husband cheating on me.
I apologize, Cammy, for everything. I apologize as many times as you want. So please forgive us.
Your son already tried to come crying to me, and you're not going to do any better than he did. I have no need for a cheating man and his evil family. My now ex-husband was crying his eyes out during the entire meeting with my lawyer. It didn't even faze me. Once our divorce was finalized, I immediately launched my lawsuits against all of them and kicked them out of my house. They tried to use squatters' rights to keep living there, but it wasn't going to work. When my husband's mistress found out they'd been caught, she immediately broke up with him and disappeared. So when they became homeless, loveless, and deep in debt, did the lovely family come together and support each other in their time of need? Of course not. They started blaming each other and had a big blowout fight, and all went their separate ways. And with that, the story of my brief yet eventful marriage comes to an end. It felt really good taking down a family full of scuzzy losers like them. So don't feel bad about me for having to deal with all that trouble. It's all behind me now. I'm just as optimistic as ever about the bright future ahead of me.
Well, my boss invited me, so I'll be going on another resort trip this weekend. It's just for business, but still, spending my days off with my boss. Seriously, it's such a drag.
What? Again? Isn't that a bit too much? You've been going away all the time these last few months, haven't you? Don't you think it's about time you took a break? I mean, even if it's a resort trip.
I guess so, but it's not like I dislike going to a resort. I don't mind it, and since it's for work, there's no point in complaining about it, right?
True, but still, it feels like we hardly have any time together as a couple. And remember, we had plans to visit my parents this weekend. You said you'd come with me.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's not like I'm choosing this over you. I have work commitments too, you know? You can go to your parents' house by yourself. Even if I go, it would just be for show. The kids will be happy just to see my face for a bit.
I get that it might seem trivial to you, but don't you think the kids would want to spend some time with their dad? And honestly, going back home with the kids alone is no walk in the park for me. You've never had to take care of them on your own, so you wouldn't understand.
Come on, saying you have a hard time with the kids when you can have such adorable children all to yourself is really a spoiled complaint, don't you think?
If you think it's just about how cute the kids are, then that proves you're not really involved in raising them. It's not just about them being cute. There are plenty of challenges that come with it, too.
If the kids heard you say that, they'd be so upset. Seriously, you sound like a pretty terrible mother.
If you think you can handle it better, then why don't you try doing it yourself? Stop enjoying your trips with your boss and take the kids on a trip by yourself at least once. Or even just stay home and take care of them alone for a bit. Trust me, you'll regret saying that.
Excuse me? What are you talking about? You have no idea how difficult it is to travel with my boss. That's why you can say such things. I'm not going on trips with my friends. It's all really stressful.
I used to go on those kinds of trips before we had kids too, you know. But ever since the kids were born, it's always been me taking care of them because you can't handle it alone, right? Realistically speaking, traveling with my boss just isn't something I can do without your support. So tell me, if I said, hey, I'm going on another 2-night resort trip with my boss, so can you take care of the kids? Would you really do that? Because I'm juggling work, house chores, and parenting over here. It's not easy for me.
Ugh, you're so annoying. It's because you always act like you're so put upon that I don't want to help. If you just keep your mouth shut, I might actually want to help out. It's the way you say things that makes me want to back off.
First of all, what do you mean by helping? Parenting is something we should do together, especially since both of us work. Do you think it's normal for me to be the one solely responsible for the kids just because I'm a woman? You're not just here to help. You should be taking an active role. The very idea that I have to ask for help is what's wrong here.
Oh, you're so damn annoying. If you have complaints, go home to your parents and tell them. Anyways, I have to work with my boss this weekend. I'm not coming home, so don't bother contacting me.
This conversation is going nowhere. Hey, answer your phone. This is an emergency. I just rushed to leave you a voicemail. Why haven't you responded at all? Right now, all of our family members are rushing to the hospital and we need you here too. You have to come as soon as you see this message. It's really serious. We're all very worried and it's important that you get here as quickly as possible. The situation is critical and we don't know what's going to happen. It's really dangerous and the last thing we need is for anyone to delay in getting here. The kids are with me, so just come straight to the hospital without stopping at home. We'll be waiting for you here, and I know it's a lot to ask, but it's important that we're all together right now. Please understand how urgent this is. I wouldn't be calling you like this if it weren't a serious situation. I really need your support right now, and the kids need their dad, too. They're scared, and we all want to be there for each other during this tough time. It's moments like this that remind us of how important family is, and we can't do this without you. So please, as soon as you get this message, drop everything and head over to the hospital. We're all really counting on you to be here with us. I can't stress enough how crucial it is that you come. I'll keep you updated on what's happening as soon as I can, but right now just focus on getting here. We need to stick together as a family in times like this. Please hurry.
I'm so tired. Traveling with my boss is exhausting. And what's with this mountain of messages? I got your voicemail and it sounded so dramatic. You were like, your mother is in critical condition. Come to the hospital immediately. It felt like something straight out of a drama series. By the way, where have you been? Today was supposed to be the day you were coming home, and yet there's no food prepared at home?
Oh, you finally returned. Well, I'm at my parents' place letting the kids rest. Honestly, I'm surprised you managed to come back from your trip considering the situation.
And about your mom being in critical condition? I really don't care. You were just on vacation, weren't you? Are you still lounging around at your parents' house? Lucky you. So what's going on with the old lady? Not that it has anything to do with me.
We just finished my mother-in-law's funeral. We're currently gathered here to talk things over.
Wait, what? Your mother-in-law? Hold on a second. Are you saying that your mother-in-law is actually my mother?
Yes, that's right. Didn't your dad call you? He mentioned he left you a message, too.
Huh? My dad did send me a message saying to come home right away and go to the hospital, but...
So you were blocking your communications from your relatives? That explains why I hadn't heard anything. I guess you were too busy worrying about how to manage your trip with your boss, huh?
Well, of course. I'd find it annoying if I were getting all these bothersome messages from my family while I'm with my boss. Wait a second, are you seriously telling me that it's my mother?
I've been telling you that. We've been extremely busy with the funeral arrangements. I tried to contact you so you could see her one last time, but instead, you decided to ignore all the messages and just enjoy your vacation, only to come back now. Honestly, even your family is at a loss for words about it.
I know, but I didn't think something like this would happen.
But your mom had been suffering from heart issues for a long time, right? It was bound to get worse. When I got the call saying she had taken a turn for the worse and was in critical condition, you should have come right away. If you had, you could have seen her one last time.
I can't believe this happened! Mom!
I'll be heading back home with the kids once everything settles down here, so you're an adult, just take care of yourself for now. You had no idea how hard it's been trying to juggle everything. While you were off enjoying your trip, I was dealing with the kids and the situation here. I can't believe you didn't think to check your messages and respond sooner.
I didn't think it would turn out like this! I thought we had more time!
You really should have been more aware. It's not just about your vacation. You have responsibilities and family to think about. The least you could do is check in, especially when things are serious. You may be relaxed right now, but the reality is that life doesn't stop for anyone.
I get that, okay? I really do, but sometimes I just need a break from all of this.
I understand needing a break, but there's a time and a place for everything. When family is involved, especially with such grave matters, you can't just ignore it. I wish you'd been here to support me and the kids when it mattered.
You're right. I should have been more considerate. I just didn't think it would escalate this quickly.
Now it's too late. I hope you realize how important family is and how vital it is to be present during tough times. You can't just turn your back on your responsibilities.
I promise I'll do better next time. I just hope it won't be under these circumstances again.
It's not about making promises now. It's about learning from this experience. Family means being there for each other, no matter the situation. So please try to remember that. Thanks for waiting, Mary. I'm all set over here. Kaylin, thank you so much. You got here much faster than I expected. This really helps me out. Right? I mean, this is a big deal for you, so of course I'm going to move quickly to help. But I really can't believe that guy. He's unbelievable. I appreciate it. I truly do. At first I was completely overwhelmed and didn't know what to think. But now everything is starting to connect, you know? It feels like I can finally make sense of it all. Yeah, I get that. I was hesitant about whether or not to tell you at first too, but I really want you to find happiness. You've been doing so much on your own with the kids. It's a relief that it finally turned out this way. Kaylin, I can't thank you enough for everything. Oh, it's nothing, really, but seriously, the world feels small sometimes, doesn't it? So, are you prepared for what's coming next? Are you really going to follow through and put an end to this? Absolutely. I know that this is the best outcome for me. I see. Well, that's great. Then let's stick to the plan and go for it. I'm honestly looking forward to this. I can hardly contain my excitement. It's like all the pieces are finally falling into place and I'm ready to take action. I've been waiting for the right moment to make my move, and now that I have your support, I feel much more confident. Knowing that I have someone like you in my corner makes all the difference. You know how much I've struggled with this situation, and just thinking about finally putting it behind me fills me with hope. I can't wait to reclaim my life and start fresh without all this baggage holding me back. This is going to be a turning point for me, and I'm ready to embrace whatever comes next. Let's do this together and make it happen. I've got your back just like you've got mine through this entire process. So let's get everything organized and take the first step.
I'm ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead with newfound determination.
By the way, I've got another golf trip with my boss next weekend. I was sleeping when you came back yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Wait, what? Again? How can you even think about going on another trip after everything that's happened? Your mother is in such a serious condition because you were away on vacation. Don't you think it's time to take a break from all this traveling?
I do think about it, but what can I do? It's a work obligation, and I have no choice but to go. Plus, especially in times like this, I want to forget everything for a while and just have some fun. And you shouldn't be complaining about things at a time like this.
You did tell your boss about your mother's situation, right? He's still inviting you despite everything? That says a lot about him, too.
Huh? What do you know about my boss? It's fine if you want to criticize me, but don't speak ill of my boss.
What are you talking about? You've told him you had kids, right? If he knows you have a wife and children, he's still inviting you out. That's just disrespectful.
Shut up! We've got our own circumstances here. I'm in a good position with my boss, so there's nothing I can do about it.
That makes it even worse. Can't you just tell him that your wife is upset? Were you in such a position that you couldn't say that?
Oh, talking to you is pointless. Seriously, you're such a difficult person to deal with. It's like you've completely changed since you got married and had kids.
I think you're the one who changed me. Don't you realize it? You act like nothing has changed in your life despite having kids, living your life like you're still single. How long do you think you can go on like this, expecting to be taken care of like a child? Don't you understand that you're a parent now?
Oh, right. So everything is my fault, huh? Just go ahead and be friendly with the kids. I'll be off having fun with my boss while you're at it.
Fine, I get it.
What are you thinking? Why are you in a place like this?
That's what I was going to ask you. What are you doing sneaking into a married woman's house while her husband is away on a business trip and having a cozy overnight getaway, just the two of you? Looks like you're not even in the same company and you're not going out golfing either. What happened to that supposed golf trip with your boss?
Are you kidding me? You weren't following me, were you?
Well, technically speaking, it wasn't me. I just had a professional investigator check things out for me. And it turns out you were having yet another overnight getaway at your girlfriend's house today. So I thought this is ridiculous and decided to crash the party.
The audacity! You're the one who should be saying that! Your girlfriend must have been so shocked that she started crying, right?
At a time like this, you're still worried about her? Oh, this is hilarious. You came out half naked, for crying out loud. Sure, I had my friend ring the doorbell so you wouldn't know I was here, but still. How could you be so foolish? It's disgusting. There's no way out of this, is there?
By the way, why are my relatives here with you?
I brought them along. Just showing evidence wasn't going to cut it. They said it must have been a misunderstanding. So I asked them to come to the scene with me. That way they could see the undeniable proof with their own eyes, right?
You've got to be kidding me! How did it come to this?
That's what I was about to say. Could you bring your girlfriend out here already? If you don't want to talk outside, then just let us in the house. We can all have a nice chat together, can't we?
Are you insane? There's no way I could accept such a chaotic situation.
But you're the one who created this chaos. You left the kids with me, and here you are cozying up with your girlfriend. As a father, as a man, and as a human being, you're the lowest of the low.
Well, that's because ever since you became a mother, you've been all about the kids. You've lost any charm or femininity you might have had, so it's no wonder.
You think that's a valid excuse for your actions? I have every right to want to protect the child I brought into this world with my life, and I believe that wholeheartedly. If we could have co-parented together, maybe I could have felt like a woman again. But you've done nothing but come home and leave all the cooking, cleaning, and child rearing to me, while you play with the kids only when they're in a good mood. You sit there fiddling with your phone instead of helping with their studies. I simply don't have the time to deal with a pathetic man like you. If you wanted attention, you should have made time for me.
There's no need to pile it on like that. How did you even figure this out?
You underestimate a woman's intuition, don't you? The moment you started going out more, I felt something was off. You stopped wanting to be intimate, and then there were those little moments where you'd compare me to other women. You really had no idea you were doing that, did you?
Huh? Was I doing that?
Yes, you were. And then, just at that time, I started getting tips about you. They said you were at a resort with another woman. You'd go to popular resorts, so of course my friends would see you. This world is much smaller than you think, you know.
Wait, I was being seen like that?
Yep, and that's when I became convinced. But since I thought that alone would not be enough proof, I got my friends and a private investigator involved to prepare for a solid case against you.
A case? What do you mean? We're married, right?
We are married, huh? You're the one who betrayed me, so who are you to talk? I've been putting up with your betrayal all this time. When I told you that it was unreasonable for someone to invite you knowing that you had a wife and kids, I was angry for my beloved girlfriend, wasn't I? Just go ahead and do whatever you want because I am getting a divorce.
What? But the kids are involved too. Don't you think it's cruel for them if we divorce?
It's better for them to grow up in a warm, loving home rather than living with a father who's a traitor and watching his dysfunctional relationship with their mother.
Why would you say something like that?
Because you act so selfishly. I will definitely be filing for alimony, and as soon as the other husband gets back, I'll be talking to him. You're getting divorced from me, and you can deal with your life afterward as you please. I'll be sure to claim a hefty alimony from you, and of course you'll be paying child support too.
Stop it! This is all because you stopped being a woman. You just wanted to spend time with another woman, didn't you? You have some responsibility in this too.
Do you think I'm just going to let that slide? I'm managing everything while also taking care of 2 kids. Why do I have to continue to deal with someone who can't even take care of the children or help with the household chores?
Dealing?
I am working without any time off. If you wanted my attention, you should have saved some energy for it. You come home fiddling with your phone, eat the food I made without a second thought, take long relaxing baths in the bathroom I scrubbed clean, and sit there looking satisfied at the faces of the children I struggled to put to bed, pretending to be a father. You're a worthless man.
You don't need to say it like that.
I'm doing everything. And you expect me to be your night partner too? If you want me to keep looking beautiful by putting on makeup and taking care of my hair and skin, then you better start making time for me to do that. I am barely managing to keep myself alive and care for the children. And you think you can just go off and satisfy your own desires with other women? You don't deserve to call yourself a father.
I'm sorry, I messed up. Just don't make this a bigger deal than it is. Please don't tell her husband. I'll do my best from now on.
I don't have the space in my heart to accept the dirty person you've become. You are a criminal who broke the law, so make sure you pay for your actions. It is pathetic how you keep worrying about yourself. Oh, and just so you know, my punishments won't end here. I'll make sure to report this to your workplace as well. You were supposed to be on a trip with your boss, so we need to confirm that, don't we?
Wait! Please stop! Anything but that! I'm working hard for my promotion! If you ruin that for me, my future!
Have you realized the extent of what you've done before you started talking? You have no idea how much you've hurt me. You're sacrificing the children for your own desires.
Finally, my husband lowered his head, ready to admit his faults, something that took far too long. Initially, I thought he would allow me and my relatives to enter his home so that we could have a serious discussion about the situation at hand. However, to my shock and a certain degree of satisfaction, he was outright punched by her father as soon as he arrived. Witnessing that confrontation was a bizarre mix of emotions, but I must admit it left me feeling quite satisfied. It was a cathartic moment, especially considering all the pain and betrayal I'd been experiencing. The woman in question came to me and apologized deeply, going so far as to kneel before me in a gesture of contrition. I could see the remorse in her eyes as she bowed her head, trying to express her regret for what had transpired. However, I could not simply accept her apology at face value, for I had a child whose future was now entangled in this mess. My heart ached as I thought about how our lives had been turned upside down due to the actions of these adults, who seemed to act without considering the consequences. Understanding the gravity of our predicament, I made it crystal clear to her husband just how frivolous she had been in her actions with my husband. I felt it was essential for him to know the full extent of what had happened, the betrayals and the disloyalty that had transpired between them. It wasn't merely a matter of emotions, it was a violation of trust that had ramifications affecting not only the adults involved, but also the innocent children caught in the crossfire. As we engaged in this painful discussion, I realized that she seemed to be a full-time housewife, dedicating her life to maintaining her home and caring for her family. However, her world had turned upside down when her husband filed for divorce, a decision that had consequences not only for her, but also for everyone else involved. I couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions watching her situation unfold. It was ironic that we both found ourselves in such unfortunate circumstances, albeit in different ways. After her husband left her, my husband faced his own set of consequences. I had reported the affair to my company, which led to my husband being reassigned to a remote location. This drastic change in his work situation felt like a punishment that fit the crime. But it was also a bitter reminder that we were both paying for the choices made in moments of weakness and poor judgment. It was as if fate had dealt us both a harsh hand, forcing us to start down a path of disappointment and regret. In our conversation, I made sure to emphasize that this situation wasn't merely a fleeting moment of weakness. It had lasting repercussions that would follow us for years to come. I needed her to understand that while she sought forgiveness, the consequences of her actions extended far beyond a simple apology. My husband and I were now living in the fallout of their indiscretions, and it was our child who would ultimately bear the brunt of this turmoil. The stakes were high, and I couldn't allow myself to become lost in anger and revenge. As I spoke, I could see the emotions flickering across her face. Guilt, sorrow, and perhaps a hint of realization that her actions had not only harmed me, but had also disrupted her own life and family. The weight of her decisions was heavy, and I sensed that she was beginning to grasp the far-reaching effects of what she had done. It was a complex web of emotions that we were both navigating, filled with resentment and a yearning for understanding. I recounted the moments that had led to this confrontation, recalling how my husband had initially been evasive about his feelings, how he had made excuses, and how I, in turn, had been forced to confront the reality of our fractured relationship. The betrayal stung deeply, but this encounter felt like a necessary step towards resolution, or at least towards closure. We were both feeling the fallout from the choices made by those we trusted, and it was a painful yet pivotal moment. As she listened to my words, I could see her processing the information, reflecting on her own role in this saga. She began to share her perspective, explaining her frustrations and the feelings of neglect within her marriage. I listened patiently, allowing her to express herself, knowing that understanding her viewpoint was crucial in moving forward. While I sympathized with her feelings of loneliness and isolation, I couldn't let that cloud my judgment regarding the choices she had made that had led us to this point. Her story mirrored my own in some ways, and it was a stark reminder that unhappiness in a relationship can lead people to make choices they might not otherwise consider. We were both victims of our circumstances, yet I felt an overwhelming need to assert that her choices were hers alone. I wouldn't let her actions undermine the seriousness of what had transpired. The damage had been done, and acknowledging that was the first step in seeking a resolution. As the conversation continued, we both began to reflect on the changes our lives had taken. She spoke of her dreams and aspirations that had been sidelined due to the pressures of family life and the neglect she felt from her husband. In turn, I shared my struggles with maintaining stability for my child amidst the chaos. We found common ground in our shared experiences of loss, even if the roots of our problems were different. It was an unexpected connection forged through our pain. The meeting felt transformative in many ways, as we moved from being adversaries to allies in understanding our struggles. I felt a strange sense of solidarity with her, realizing that we were both navigating a rocky path filled with uncertainty and disappointment. Our conversations morphed from accusations into discussions about how we could both move forward, despite the hurt that lingered in the air. After we shared our stories, we noticed a shift in her demeanor. The tears in her eyes were replaced with a semblance of understanding and acceptance. She grasped the weight of her actions, and I could tell that she was beginning to process the implications of her choices. This encounter was not merely about seeking revenge or an apology. It had become a moment of shared understanding, an acknowledgement of the complexity of our lives. In the end, we parted ways with a newfound sense of respect for each other. It wasn't a resolution to all our problems, but it was a step toward acknowledging the reality we faced. I felt lighter somehow, as if shedding some of the burdens that had weighed me down for so long. While our paths were fraught with difficulties, we both understood that moving forward would require honesty, introspection, and the willingness to confront consequences of our own actions. As I walked away from that encounter, I felt a surge of determination. I knew I had to focus on rebuilding my life and securing a better future for my child. The challenges ahead would be significant, but I was ready to face them head-on, equipped with the knowledge that I was not alone in this journey. There was a shared understanding between us now, a recognition of our struggles, and perhaps, just perhaps, a glimmer of hope for what lay ahead. Reflecting on everything that had transpired, I realized that forgiveness was not an easy path, but it was essential for my own healing. I understood that I had to move forward, and I would have to let go of the anger and resentment that had consumed me for so long. It was a difficult realization, but it was necessary for my peace of mind. Our children were innocent in all of this, yet they were the ones who would suffer from the mistakes. Thinking about the future, I began to formulate a plan for myself and my child. I wanted to ensure that they grew up in a loving and stable environment, free from the chaos and uncertainty that had characterized our lives repeatedly. It was crucial for me to provide them with the support and guidance they needed to navigate their own lives, and that meant prioritizing their well-being above all else. The road ahead would be challenging, but I was determined to face it with courage and resilience. I knew I couldn't change the past, but I could shape the future for myself and my child. Through hard work and determination, I would strive to create a better life for us both. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I was ready to pursue it with all my heart.
You understand that there is no value in a woman that isn't even able to take care of her own house, right?
Huh? Why are you saying all that to me now?
I'm talking about how recently, no matter what's going on, you've been slacking off from doing your chores. It really pisses me off after coming home from a long and tiring day at work to see that my house is a mess and you're nowhere to be found.
I'm getting pretty close to having our baby now, and the doctor told me to take it easy around the house, right? And to make sure that our baby is okay at childbirth, I really need to relax a bit. If I start to move around too much doing a lot of the more strenuous chores, I end up out of breath too quickly and form a headache. I'm trying my best to get all the easier work done still, so how about you start helping me out a little bit for a change?
I don't care about you being pregnant. You were the one that wanted to have a baby, Cecilia. So you're gonna have to cut the crap and start picking up that slack right now.
What? You were the one that agreed with me that you wanted a baby, right?
I don't ever remember agreeing with you on something like that. So I'm telling you right now that if you're not going to keep the house in good shape for me, I won't be coming back there. I don't want to come back there. So, for the time being, I won't be coming back to the house until after you're done fooling around.
You're not coming home? Where do you plan on staying for the time being, then?
I'll be staying with one of my younger coworkers at their place.
I just want to ask this for the sake of knowing. That coworker is a man, right?
That has nothing to do with you, Cecilia.
I think it dang well does. I'm the one that's been paying for this house, so you think it's okay for you to butt into your coworker's place without handing them any money?
If you think I won't be able to pay my coworker, you're wrong. I'll just ask my dad to cover for me or something.
Do we even know about what's going on with them right now to say something like that so confidently?
I know about them and their situation. And I know that things are going really well for them right now.
Well, I haven't seen you talking with your dad in a long time, Peter, so are you sure?
I'm getting tired of all this talking. You're a real pain in my butt, Cecilia.
Wait, Peter, are you going to ghost me now then? Matt?
Hey, Cecilia. How have you been feeling lately? You were telling me before that things were getting pretty rough for you over there.
Yeah. Well, things have calmed down a bit recently, so I think I'll be okay now.
You don't have to try and lie to me about being alright. If you're still having a rough time, let me know, okay? I know that you're the type to play it all cool. And push yourself to the limit to make sure nobody comes to help you.
Well, thank you. By the way, is Peter in the office right now?
Nope, right now he's out with one of our younger employees, so I don't think he's around.
Is that younger coworker he's with a man or a woman?
Her name is Stacy Williams, and she's really young actually. And recently, the two of them have been going out with one another quite a lot to get work done.
What's going on?
I just feel a bit weird about saying all of this to you, since you're his wife and all that. It's a bit of a mystery what's going on with those two while they're working together.
Is that right? Well, you can wait to tell him this next time he's in the office with you, but when that time comes, can you tell him that a package has arrived for him?
I don't mind doing that for you at all. But let me ask, is he even coming back to your guys' house anymore?
Well, no he isn't.
What the hell is that bastard doing leaving his pregnant wife at home all alone?
And soon I'm going to become a mother to my baby. I don't even want to think of what will happen come to that.
Remember back in the day when my dad left my house and family behind? You came to help me and make sure that I was okay when I cried. So I really want to help you out with this in case something... Well, you know what I'm getting at. So if you're worried about him, something should be done now instead of later. I want to make sure that your dream of having a loving home comes true. So I'll be at your side whenever you call for me.
Thank you. Hearing something as caring as that from you makes me tear up a little.
You don't have to thank me for that. Ah, and by the way, how's your dad doing?
Well, he's doing as good as we thought. But you shouldn't have to be asking me that. You're the one that sees him a whole lot more than me there.
But while I'm here, I try and focus on only the business side of things, and less on him being a friend. We have to make sure that we don't get too close to one another while doing business.
Now, don't worry about him. My dad is just the kind of man that loves seeing people as his family and friends.
I see. Well, if that's the case, I guess we can grow a bit closer. Anyway, I'm going to start looking further into what's going on with Peter for you, okay? I'll even give him a call or text to catch up a little.
Please.
Yo, were you talking with one of the people at my work yesterday? What the hell are you trying to do? Are you a freaking idiot doing something as stupid as that? If you have something to ask me, then you call me instead of my office asking about me.
Well, I just assumed that if I tried texting you, you'd just leave me on read and never get back to me. And it's not like you answer the phone ever. So how the heck do you want me to contact you, Peter? Email? Fax?
Are you kidding me? I will get back to you when I'm ready to. That's how this whole texting thing works, alright? You're just supposed to shut up and wait for me to continue the conversation.
But inside of the package that you got, there's an invoice and everything for you. You have to come over here and get it pretty soon.
Go ahead and pay for that package yourself then. I shouldn't be having to say that to you anymore. You really are one of the most useless women on this planet, you idiot.
You think I have to? I have to be the one to pay for this package that came in the mail for you?
Of course you do. What kind of wife are you if you're not willing to take care of me? You're supposed to stay quiet and take care of all my needs at all times. That's what the ideal wife is to me. But you're anything but ideal to me. Always talking back to me with that snake's tongue of yours. This is the whole reason why you're no good to me.
Talking back to you?
Compared to you, this younger gal, Stacy, is perfect for me. She's willing to do anything I ask of her, and is so darn cute.
Are you talking about the coworker you've been working together with a lot recently?
Jesus, have you already heard about her and I? Well, this makes the explaining a whole lot more easy for me then. I'm going to give up on being with a loudmouth, back-talking, idiot woman like you, and fix everything with that younger and more attractive, selfless gal, Stacy.
What the heck? What the heck do you mean by that?
I mean exactly what I'm saying, Cecilia. I want the two of us to get a divorce, and for you to stay out of my life. You never seem to take a hint when it comes to me, and your manners are just awful. I know for a fact that the only use you have for me now is being thrown in the dump.
You're screwed up, Peter.
I'll make sure to send you the divorce papers in the mail with my half all filled out. You fill out your half, and then hand them in as soon as possible.
I just received the divorce papers in the mail. Are you sure this is how you want to end things between the two of us then? We talked about our future together before we got married and made a promise. I told you about how my mother passed away when I was young and that my father only ever spent his time at work. So I wanted to make a much more loving and warm family for us so that I could have what I never had in the past. And you promised me that you'd be at my side helping me make my dream come true. That's why I'm working so hard with you to make that dream come true, Peter.
Oh, so it's finally arrived at your place then.
You don't even care about what I just told you.
You're being annoying, Cecilia. I don't care what you have to say now because it's already too late, and I've made up my mind. Now hurry the hell up and get those papers handed in. If you can't get that done for me soon, I'll never be able to marry Stacy this year.
What the heck were you doing making a promise like that with me if you never had any intentions of keeping it? Being stabbed in the back like this, it really, really hurts. You're just going to leave me thinking that my dream means nothing to you.
You already know that I never cared about your dream. And you should have learned that before marrying me. Now, in order to make my dream come true, hurry up and leave me so I can be happy with Stacy.
I never expected you to be this kind of person. If I'd known how selfish you really are, I would have never said yes to your proposal. You are the worst, Peter!
And had I known that you'd be such a brainless idiot who only ever talks to me about her feelings, then I would have dumped you right then. I thought you'd actually be good wife material for me. Well, I'm glad we're finally getting divorced now. And it's not too late for me.
I see then. Let me check on one more thing with you before we leave each other. Are you really sure that you want to get this divorce?
I told you, I don't want you anymore. I already filled out my half.
You're not going to regret one bit of this?
You're being a jerk now.
Well, if you're 100% set on this, then I won't say anything else to you. Goodbye forever, Peter.
Bye-bye. Make sure you never come around me again, okay? Jeez, you still haven't blocked me after what happened last year? You must be a freak for still thinking I'd ever come back for you.
Huh? Peter? What do you want from me now of all times?
Well, listen here. Stacy ended up having a baby, right? And well, now that there are 3 of us living in this small place, it's not enough room for everyone to be happy. We've actually been living in the same apartment that she moved into when she started working with me a few years ago. And it's only really meant for one person. so it's way too cramped now.
Well, I don't really care about that. Whatever's been happening with all of you is no interest to me, so get on with what you want here.
You seriously have no idea what I want right now, even after what I've told you? Still brainless, I see then. What I'm trying to tell you is that the house you're living in right now goes to me, and you get the hell out of there.
Excuse me? Stop saying such jumbled crap like that to me. That makes no sense at all and is just wasting my time.
I should have known there was no way of talking with you about this. Well, I guess I'll have to say this in the simplest way possible. The only reason you've been living in that house the whole time is because I've allowed you to. That house has always been my house, and I want to live in it again. And right now is the best time for me to get you out of there and move my family in. How much longer are you planning to be a squatter in my home, you lost cause of an ex-wife?
What are you talking about, Peter?
I told you. That house is my house, and I'm going to have my family live there now. So get the hell out of there right now.
The fact that this is all out of left field has left me a bit speechless. Are you sure you have any idea what you're talking about right now? Have you started some new medication or something?
Stop trying to even justify this and get lost. I was being very considerate by letting you stay there for over a year now, but that consideration is up, and it's time for you to go. Now, if you don't get out of that house real soon, I'll have to come over there myself and force you out.
Listen, Peter, I feel that you have some serious misunderstandings here.
I'm the one with misunderstandings?
Yeah, about this house. Have you not known a thing about this place? I'm the one with my name on the place, so it's not yours.
Huh? You're lying. What the hell are you going on about? There's no way your name, of all names, is on my house. Because look, back when we had that place built, I gave you half to pay for the construction and everything, right? So that means that me, the one that was making most of the money in the house, should have their name on the house.
You thought you were the one providing and paying for the house. You.
Yes, me.
The man that left his pregnant wife all alone at her house for a few weeks before telling her he was with another woman was the breadwinner of this house? That's a really good joke you just told.
I'm not joking, Cecilia.
I can see that you've forgotten everything, so allow me to explain. Back when this house was first being built, you did say that we'd pay half and half for this house.
Right?
But in reality, you never did end up paying anything, right?
Well, yeah, back then I didn't have the money just yet to pay for the place. So you never got the money from me, but...
And when the house was fully built, I had to pay the whole bill for the place, right? You remember the day that happened, right?
Is that right? Ah, hold up. I remember what happened now. Because right after you paid, my parents gave you the money I owed, right?
You are right in that your parents did end up giving me money for your half of that bill. But listen, Peter, I handed that right back to them.
Huh? I don't get what you mean by that. Why the hell would you do something like that with my money?
Your money? Peter, this house was for the both of us to raise a family in, right? I couldn't just keep having your parents, especially your dad, pay for things that we should have been paying for ourselves. So I was just thinking that until you saved up the money to pay me back for paying your half, I'd wait, and wait, and wait. Well, after a while, though, you stopped saving up the money to hand me anything, and soon after that, things changed.
But unlike you, I had all sorts of things that I was paying off at the time anyway.
I don't care about what you had to pay off behind my back. I never went out spending on all sorts of needless things like you, and instead worked really hard to save up my money for the house. I did so well, in fact, that I was able to pay your half of the bill as well in the end. So there you go. That's the reason why my name is on this house and why it's mine.
Well, at this point, who cares whose name is on the house? I've had enough of your jabbering, so hurry up and hand that place to my family.
What? Do I have a reason to give you my house?
I don't give a crap if you have a reason or not. I'm the one with a very important one, and that means I get the house.
What reason do you have that is important enough to force a stranger to give you their house?
I've already finished preparing everything for the move, so there's no going back now.
You already did all of that? Why the heck would you start packing everything up to move to a new house when you don't even have a house?
I do have a house, and you're squatting in it right now, you freak. Stacy has even gone ahead and canceled her contract here, so we have to be out by the end of the month. What the hell am I going to do if you won't leave my house? Are you asking for the three of us to become homeless or something?
I mean, you're all strangers to me, so I couldn't care less what happens. I just want to relax in my house without you blabbering on my phone all day.
Huh? I have a baby here right now that was born only a few days ago, Cecilia. And you're a mother yourself, so you should understand my pain.
Dang right. That's why I've been taking care of my baby to the best of my ability. Now get lost!
For crying out loud. Cecilia, I've had enough of this messing around from you. Do you not have a heart for anyone?
What is it now? Are you really sure you're not on some new medication? I can call the hospital for you and have them come out and help.
Are you making fun of me now?
Kind of.
You're the one that told the company I work for something you should have never said.
Huh? Why would I have anything to do with the company you work for?
Stop playing dumb. I was called by my boss this morning to come to his office, and when I did, he started to tear me a new one. He began to explain to me about how he learned I was dating Stacy. If all of this wasn't your doing, then who the hell would have told him about her and I?
Are you sure they didn't just learn about you themselves? I mean, perhaps you just didn't do a good enough job hiding it.
It couldn't have been so easy. I made sure to keep everything under wraps the whole time, so not even my closest coworkers would find out. But now, I'm going to lose everything I've worked so hard for. All at the worst of times. I'm only just starting to grow my family, and this is how it's going to go? You are like the devil, Cecilia. Being married to you was the worst mistake that I've ever made. And now it's gonna bite me in the butt now.
You're going way off the rails here. I've already told you I didn't do anything with the company you work in, so stop thinking it was me.
I know you're lying. If it wasn't you, then tell me how this all happened.
It was Matt.
Huh? Matt? What did he do?
Well, he was the one that noticed you and Stacy always being around one another first. And since then has been very suspicious of what you two have been up to. He thought that what you were doing with her and how you'd always be around her was very strange, so he took a bit of time to look into you two. And he came to tell me that he'd talk with you guys as bosses to have a bit of an investigation started into the both of you.
Why the hell would he do that, though?
Matt ended up taking a good look at you guys' schedules all the time and would also look into both you guys' backgrounds there.
Has he been trying to stab me in the back or something?
You and Stacy are the ones who have been stabbing the company in the back this whole time. You both wouldn't even go out to work together. Rather, you'd use the time you should have been working to have fun with each other.
I asked them to do all sorts of work for me to cover for my time out of the office.
Did you now? Well, I'm not too sure what all the company has on you both, but it's not great pushing your work onto other coworkers so that you have time to sexually mess around with another employee.
What the hell is wrong with him? He's going to ruin everything for me.
What are you talking about? Matt tried talking with Stacy about how something like playing around with you could jeopardize the both of your positions there. But she never listened to him. He really didn't want to tell the company about everything, but you both didn't seem to care about your jobs as much as you cared about one another.
Well, if he was going to try and keep us from ruining our jobs there, he could have come to me about it as well.
Hey, he was being very nice by waiting until after Stacy had your baby, right? Heck, you shouldn't even be in that house with her right now because that housing is meant for only one tenant to live in within the company. If you want to be there with her and not pay for your stay, then you have to understand that when the company finds out about it, you might lose your job.
For frick's sake. But wait a second. There are always those two that I can rely on for times like these. Whenever I feel like I'm in a pinch and help financially, I could just call on my mom and dad to come help me out.
You're going to ask your dad to help you? I think you're better off not doing that right now with him.
Stop trying to get me all freaked out by saying that. It's not gonna work. Bye now. Hey, bud. So you thought it was a good idea to tattle on Stacy and I to the company? What do you want with me, Peter? You knew about my parents, didn't you? Are you talking about how Cecilia's dad's company and your parents' company ended up merging into one firm? So you knew about it all along. Why do you know about things like that? Well, even if you were trying to hide that from everyone, I was the one that made it all happen for you. Huh? Why did you? I happen to be a decent friend of Cecilia's father, so I helped him work with your parents to merge companies. Then tell me why, when both of them merged equally, her dad is in a higher position than my parents. Did your parents ever talk with you about your family's company and the financial situation it was in? Well, I'm sure they never thought it'd be important to tell you though, huh? Well, to give you an explanation, their company was starting to head south. I never knew that. Well, if they never told you about it, you probably would have never listened to them, right? It seems that Cecilia's dad was doing wonders in the business world, and when it came to the merger, it was actually your parents that asked for his company to take theirs over. Are you sure? Crap. I can't believe you know more about my family than even myself. How could you do this to me, though? Do you hate me or something? Keeping secrets about the company and my family from me? You're the one that ended up stabbing all of us in the back, you bastard. Huh? You went and threw your wife and baby away. And instead of doing work for the company, you pushed it all off onto me and had an affair with Stacy. Whether you feel like you're my friend or my business partner, you stabbed me in the back with both of those things. So don't you dare sit there heckling me about how I should have been telling you about your own family and their company. Why are you so upset about Cecilia, though? She has nothing to do with you. You've known for a long time that she's my best friend, and yet, you've made up the most selfish reasons for breaking her heart, and mine. I don't ever want to see you anymore. Crap. I guess I'll never ask for anything from you ever again, then. Cecilia, please. Can you talk with your dad about all of this? I was once your husband, right? Right?
You think me, of all people, would want to help you out of your own mess? You destroyed my dreams, Peter, and now you get to suffer for that. That dream was something I was looking forward to even before we got married. But the moment I said I was pregnant, and soon after that you left me, all just to save yourself from having to do a little work and to be with some younger girl you met at work. This is what you get for being a sleazeball. And it's not like you only threw me away either, but your own dang child. I'm not helping you with Jack because I can't accept that you're a person in the first place. Nobody's going to help something they can't understand or accept.
But I happen to have a little baby myself now. If you really are a mother yourself, then you can feel my pain and help us, right?
I do feel really bad for your baby and the struggles it's about to face.
Then,
But that being said, I still don't give a crap about you and your wife and will not be giving you my house because you feel like you deserve it.
do you not even have the ability to sympathize with other humans?
Are you sure you have any right to be saying that? Because I only just told you that to me, you're not human. So how am I supposed to sympathize with some kind of mutated monster like you? I have a very cute and important son with me now. And I've chosen to make him my #1 responsibility, and that will never change. So I'm never going to let you or your scummy wife lay a hand on this house. And since you were the one that made all of this happen, I sure as hell am not helping you.
The house we live in is going to go bye-bye, and the company we both work for hates us now. They're going to cut both our salaries and benefits. What are we going to do from now on?
Remember how I checked to make sure you were okay with all this a while ago? I asked if you had talked with your parents about leaving me and if you were even okay with that choice. And you, Peter, told me that you would be fine without me. You're a goddamn adult now, so take some goddamn responsibility for your choices, would you?
Ah, I get it.
What?
You're still on your own now, right? You haven't gotten married to anyone new yet, right?
And?
I'm sure your baby wants to have a father, right? So I'll give you the gift of getting back together with me.
Peter? What about Stacy? Are you going to do all of this again? Throw her and her baby out this time.
I have no choice now. I've started to find out that to stay happy, I'm better off with someone like you over someone who's about to leave their apartment, right?
I'm done with you, Peter. You don't seem to have a lick of responsibility or humanity in you. I think that both Stacy and I are better off not having a dick like you in our lives. By the way, I'm going to be sending you a few things later on. So when you have a new house, if you have a new house, tell me the address and I'll send it all your way.
Huh? Wait. What all are you talking about?
I'm talking about things to do with you cheating on me. I'd known about it for a while now, and I'm going to take you to court over it. And there, you're going to have to pay me big time for what you've done.
A settlement? I don't have any reason to pay you anything.
Well, here's the deal. If you don't want me sending that to your office to have handed off to you, then tell me your address when you get one.
Wait, please. Tell me what the hell I should be doing right now.
I don't know. You're a waste of everyone's time anyway. Maybe go die in a hole somewhere. I became really busy for a while there, so I'm really sorry for not getting back to you sooner. Thank you for everything you did. If it wasn't for your help on the company side of things, then I would have never been able to get evidence of Peter cheating. You really helped me out this time.
No worries. Have things in your life been calming down now then?
Sure have. I'm a lot more relaxed now than I was before. But I have had something I've really been itching to ask you. Why have you been so nice to me this whole time?
You're my best friend, and there's nothing I want more in this world than to see you stay smiling.
I can't believe that.
Well, to be fair, what Peter and Stacy were doing was not okay for this company, and I wasn't going to let them get away with it. Also, I'm in the same boat as you, being only raised by one parent. I only ever had a mother, and so I was always wishing to have a more full family, if you know what I mean. That's why when I saw Peter breaking that dream of yours, I was furious, and I couldn't watch it continue. You never did anything to deserve something like that, Cecilia. So I thought it was my chance to protect you and your baby.
I see. Thank you, Matt. After that, Peter ended up going back and getting help from Stacy's parents. But unknown to Peter, Stacy and her parents had been talking about what was going on with Peter. And when those documents ended up arriving at his in-laws' house, they saw how much he was going to owe, and Stacy no longer saw any reason in staying together with him. And that day, the both of them got a divorce. At that point, Peter was now out 2 wives, and in a panic started to go on dates with random women from a dating app. But nobody would bite after the first date, and he soon started to stress out so much that he'd take it out on others at work. And soon after that, he lost his job within the company. He had nobody else to rely on but his parents, and after going home to them, they began to work his butt off there without ever giving him a chance to breathe. When the court date came up and he had to come face me in court, both his parents brought him in while he cried in their arms. But of course, nobody was sympathizing with him, and he was forced to pay, in total, $15,000 to me in the settlement. But not only that, he had to start paying child support as well, since my child was technically his that he gave up. A few days after that, I received all the settlement money from his parents, and they'd also handle the child support as well. But of course, in return for that, Peter would only be worked harder by them, and he would get to really know what hell was like. By this point, he pretty much had no chance of ever making it out of their house again, and will most likely end up being their caretaker when they both grow old enough. Only recently did I go out to go shopping with my kid, and as we were out, I passed by someone who looked similar to Peter, but looked like he was in his 60s due to stress. But let's be honest, that couldn't have been him, since he'll never get away from his parents ever again.